Welcome back this week to this week's episode. Look at the territory of the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where today we're talking Saturday Night on TBS from May the 12th, 1990. You don't want to know what I'm laughing at. It's something that has nothing to do with the show. Let's just say I'm in a pissy mood, and I'm going to laugh it off. Doc, how are you?
Well, I'm the only one here that's living their best life.
Joe,
you guys don't out there at the Army don't know, but I had to get the show started because these two shoot job clowns are just like, God Almighty. The shoot jobs got me. I mean, I was gonna come on here and ask Harper how he spent his $12,500 that he made this past week in BTT money, but apparently what we've learned is that you have to spend that money in the BTT company store.
Oh.
And a block of government cheese just happens to be $12,500.
That's a whole lot of fucking t-shirts.
Yeah.
Boy, you're kidding.
I'm blessed. Harper, why don't you tell the people how you are?
I'm doing great. I guess.
That's not what you said earlier.
Yeah. Fuck this.
Well, could you be more specific? This as in the show or
just shoot jobs?
Yeah. We got to get bigger. This is the only podcast that you'll hear this week. I guarantee you this is the only podcast worth of shit that you're going to listen to that is ad-free. Maybe we need to change that.
I'm starting to think that, especially if somebody's going to throw some serious cash at us to plug
if you think about it, you can't get 3 minutes into some of these podcast episodes on some of these shows. And you're reaching for the fact, and I ain't ever bought a product on there, not once.
Yeah, I listened to one. I don't want to say it went into like 8-9 minutes before it should start playing.
Like the ads were 8 to 9 minutes before the actual show opened.
I just kept. I had 15 seconds on Spotify, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And it kept going like 5. Okay, it's 5 minutes. Gotta be over by now. Wrong. It kept going and going and going, and it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I guess on a brighter note, hey, all our football teams won.
Yeah, that's true.
Looking good there.
16-1 Super Bowl sucking, right, Doc?
Oh, 100%, dude. Do you see how we pushed the Eagles around?
Oh yeah, the Eagles did good against Atlanta.
We whooped that ass. I mean,
know.
Really, if we didn't do a couple of normal cowboy type maneuvers, it would have been way worse.
I was waiting for you to start the show with digs at your favorite listener, Phil Allen.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's still putting an ice pack on his asshole after that game.
Oh, come on, man. That's nice.
Bro, Phil was so high at the Wildcat show.
Well, then maybe he didn't feel it, and he doesn't need an ice pack. But
man, he was.
I've never been more convinced of anything than we're going 16-1. Now, I don't know what we'll do in the playoffs.
We were in Metairie real quick. I think I told it on the show. He was so high, they called him an Uber or a Lyft. He walks up to the wrong car, and I'm like, Phil, we're in Metairie, man. Make sure you're a brother, bro. Don't walk up to the wrong car. But go ahead. What were you saying, Doc, about what were you saying? 16-1 what Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, you got it.
Boy, it's gonna hurt you when you get your feelings hurt by that team.
The Saints got the Giants. And the Giants are trash.
The Saints are in like an alternate universe right now, the way they're playing defense.
Yeah.
It's something's. I'm not used to this, man. This is like the whole script, and it's just flipped. It's if they'd have had this defense I know they had good defenses in the last couple of years, but they'd have had this defense when Breeze was in his prime. Oh God.
Man, I'm telling you, football's hot. The shoot job's okay. As soon as I figure out how to boost a booster shot, I'm going to be all about it, bro.
Hey.
Okay.
Hookers don't fart, they prostitute.
Come on.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Speaking of hookers, We've gotten so many more cards and letters from the broads of BTT over the last week. I want to thank all of the ladies out there, my favorite listeners, for everything you do, listening to the show and supporting the show.
Oh, you know what comes out Friday, huh?
Sopranos.
That's right. And then I told Tiffany, I was like, yeah, Friday that comes out. She's like, really? She has HBO Max. She's like, oh, look, it's on. We can just watch it here. I'm like, this is the death of theaters.
It is, bruh. Why would you go to that germ-ridden, rat-infested, overpriced shithole when you can just sit at home and,
Yeah.
Netflix and chill?
Even when it's on, like, there was something on Disney Plus a couple months back that came out, or maybe it was another streaming platform. So even if you were a subscriber, you still had to pay for the movie. But I was like, man, you're going to still pay less than if you and your wife or a kid or two went to the movie. So, like, even then, I'd say, okay, so let's say they charge $20 for it, right, on the app. That's nothing compared to what you're going to spend if you actually go to the damn movie theater. And look, if you want popcorn and candy, just do it at home.
You better get a loan out and fucking do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If at home, if you're going to want that. But, I mean, look, if I can watch it at home legally, is the key words here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to pay a whole lot less. Because, the champ said you shouldn't steal.
A whole lot more.
But for the convenience, that's true. I know how you are. But, you're rich, so, I mean, hey.
True. I mean, I just don't want to, I can't envision a future where I want to be around a bunch of coughing morons.
All right. Well, special shout out to our largest patron contributors monthly. Disrespectfully Classy, Barky Blassie, Bike Childry, Joe Ice. Thank you for your generous support. And one new patron this week, Kevin E. Thanks for signing up, Kevin, on Patreon. And if you're not a patron, become one. tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. Capital Combat is coming up soon. And the only way you can get that within the next 2 weeks is on Patreon at tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. Doc, what other flips and dives do you have for us before we get into this week's Saturday Night?
Man, I don't think I have much. There's no 5-star reviews.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Oh, I got something.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, man. I saw the champ on my TV screen this past week.
It was America's Most Wanted.
That's no way to talk about. That's no way to talk about Oren.
Oh, whoa!
Darren only said it 60 times on the show.
Did y'all watch the video of Darren eating the octopus?
What?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well,
that shit looked like a goddamn. You remember those octopuses those sticky things that would come in the cereal boxes that you would throw them against the wall? That's what this shit looked like.
That looked gross, Harper.
It was gross. It was straight up full. And the octopus was just sitting there, like six of them. And
the D-man was eating them.
He ate one.
And then he said it wasn't that good.
I mean, to be honest, the whole restaurant was fucking shit from top to bottom. But it's just, and the thing is, if they don't bring out the other shit until the shit that's on it that you ordered is gone. So I was like, "What fuck you gonna do?" With the other ones, he just wrapped them up in a napkin and put them on a plate.
You gotta send it to Doc some kind of way because he ain't on Facebook, so he won't see the video.
Oh.
But yeah, Darren looked a little disgusted, even though he did eat it. Ugh.
Yeah,
that looked gross, dude.
It was nasty.
Well, I thought the champ was really woke on TV. I mean, I think that was pretty awesome.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an ally. That's a great thing, right?
James Mitchell.
Nice.
That's nice, Doc. James Mitchell, somebody's going to work themselves into a shoot over the last 10 seconds of your comment or whatever.
That's their problem.
James Mitchell posted something on Twitter because, like we've talked about this, they edit they edit out a lot of stuff. I mean, they're talking to these guys for hours on end when they're interviewing them. And, you know, for only a 40 some odd minutes of runtime. And James posted something about the timeline, the way it was presented on Dark Side related to Canyon and the NWO, and how it made it sound like, you know, his push died because of that. And it was just a bunch of stuff. So I don't want to read it verbatim, but he posted a series of tweets about how, look, you know, they basically edited this stuff together. You only got bits and pieces of it in the show, but it was very much explained in sequence when they interviewed him. So for what that's worth, I just thought I'd point that out if anybody is interested in seeing what he said on Twitter about it. Because, I mean, they're splicing it all up. And no, that doesn't mean that Tommy Dreamer's comments weren't dumb. Those were still stupid comments.
So I watched the episode with Mrs. Doc. And at one point, she was talking about our good friend, Mr. Van Horn. And she goes, man, that guy's a lot nicer than I would be. He's getting punched and all kinds of shit. I'm like, you do know he's a friend of ours. She's like, a friend of whose? I was like, well, he wants to hang out with me and Mike the next time he's through the area. Do you want to tag along? She got quiet.
Yeah, Tiffany goes, how does he get his eyebrows like that? I was like, they fucking grow like that.
Satan does it for him. These bitches, man, they don't understand that.
Dude,
they will look at some circus clown on TV and understand how they did their makeup, but can't understand how wrestling works.
Boy, you took the words out of my mouth when Harper said what he said. I'm like, has she seen some of the clowns on TV with these women do to their faces? Boy, that's nothing what he did to his eyebrows.
Hey, man, Canyon seemed like a good, troubled young man. R.I.P. There's your review of Dark Side.
No, we couldn't do it tonight. I don't want to get into it. We were going to do something.
Man, I got to tell you, the shoe job is trying to finger your booty hole.
But in a bad way.
Yeah, I know.
Are they doing it without a finger cut or with one on it?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is your world, dude.
Yeah, this is your butthole.
I mean, what do you want to have happen here?
Yeah.
On that note, let's start getting into Saturday Night, because we're talking May 12th of 1990, and this was a short episode. God bless the person who did tape this thing for us, because what they did was they cut out the replay clips. And if I know Doc, he did the Jaworski and cranked a few off, knowing that they cut these replays out. Am I wrong, Doc?
No, it was great. I was busy jerking and writing and all kinds of stuff.
Did you paper stick together or what?
No,
maybe.
Come on.
Hold on, let me see.
Oh, come on, Harper. I mean, what the hell, bro? What's all this, man? Talking about Jared cranking off and doing the Jaworski. What? Man, come on, Harper. I mean, talk about Bruno. Talk about JYD. You know, what the Bruno talk?
Don't we need to talk about AEW at Arthur Ashe like every other low rent podcast in the world?
Tell me about it.
Jeez.
So I guess you didn't like it, but whatever.
I didn't even watch. How about that?
I didn't see it either.
I was too busy watching this.
Well,
what
so
is it?
this
Shoes
show
for your feet, shoes for what is it, Harper?
Shoes for your feet, pocket for your stuff.
Don't knock ruse, man. All right, so the show opens up. We do see a clip of the end of the Luger and Flair match from Worldwide and Barry Windham returning that we talked about last week. So all that happened, and again, just the replay. We then head to the tape-in where Cornette, he's angry, and he can't wait to get his stuff in if you watch him here. I'm going to play this minute worth of audio so you can see just how angry and listen to how angry Corny is as he's with JR.
World Championship Wrestling here on TBS. I'm Jim Ross, along with Jim Cornette. I want to welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to the program. We are 1 week away from Capital Combat 90, the return of RoboCop. We'll talk about that. We have Lex Luger and Sting both here live in this program. Plus, we'll see Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert take on Samu and much more great action, including the United States Tag Team Champions who will be here momentarily. You know what I'm upset about? On May 19th at Capitol Combat, Flying Brian and Z-Man are taking on the Midnight Express for the U.S. title, and they are going to put me in a cage at ringside during that match. Now, I would expect it from the NWA to treat me like a stinking, low-down, dirty, slimy animal. But I tell you something, Pillman and Zink, even with me in a cage or out in the parking lot, the Midnight Express is still a better team than you are. They're going to take those belts. Read the newspapers. In Washington, D.C., you got a better chance than anywhere else in the country of getting murdered. May 19th, Pillman and Zink, your chances are better than most. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Capetta is standing by for our first match on World Championship Wrestling.
All right, Corny's angry. He doesn't want to be in a cage during the U.S. title match. Doc, any thoughts on Corny's anger right there? Is it misguided, or should he be a little happier, being that he's going to be in a cage?
I don't give a shit about that. I like the line where he's like, your chances are better than most.
Well, that's a good point.
Hey, if we're not trying to be Southern, that cage is Betty Lou, bruh.
Yeah, you notice how they didn't say it, though, huh?
No.
Oh.
We have to be embarrassed.
But,
yeah.
So I haven't rewatched this yet in a while. I don't think he's above the ring, though. I think he's, like, ringside.
He put some creative control on that bullshit.
Yeah, he did. Harper, any thoughts on Corny right there in his anger?
He's fucking ready to roll. He's pissed.
He's not happy. That's for damn
Did
sure.
you hear in the open that it was Tony Schiavone in that recap?
I did make a note of it, but, I mean, we've heard him now a few more times. And he did the promo last week with Sting that you loved.
No, my thing is, he went up north and just learned how to yell real loud. He was screaming in that like he would later on in the 90s.
Boy, on Nitro, he did scream a lot.
Yeah. We're coming to you live from the Who Gives a Shit Civic Center in Topeka, Kansas.
The Club La Vila.
Yeah.
Not only
This
that,
is the
like
greatest
during
night in the history of our sport.
Yeah.
during the matches, he would scream. He even said, though, in the early years of his podcast, he said, man, by the time Nitro was done and WCW was done, he was like, my voice was shot. He was like, I couldn't go anymore. There was nothing there. And I guess you're right. We're seeing the beginning of it here. All right, so we keep moving, and the first match is Brian Pillman and the Z-Man, who are, again, the U.S. Tag Team Champions. They're taking on Mark Kyle, Killer Kyle as we knew him in Smokey, and Rick Fargo. JR reminds us that 1 week from tonight is Capitol Combat, the pay-per-view. Z-Man and Pillman are going to win this match in just under 2.5 minutes. Another note about the pay-per-view. So the pay-per-view is 1 week from tonight, but the way they do, I think, the Saturday night next week is they do the Saturday night and they air it, and then the pay-per-view is after it. So they kind of make it look like, they're leading up to the pay-per-view and whatnot. Doc, any thoughts from this match?
Can you run it back to 420, please?
We're at 4:20:30, so hold on. That's not hard at all. Well, we're at 4:13. Here we go. What we got?
I actually thought this was nice. Pillman got up there. And I mean, I know they're shooting up at it with the angle.
Like shit.
Why?
The way he brought him down.
Oh, well, that's Zink's fault.
Oh, Zink should have just let him go, and the guy
Yeah.
took the bump.
Look at that. Flying Zinks.
I'm surprised you didn't say that was the Road Warriors finisher, because you like to do that for everything.
That's not what the Road Warriors do.
Really? I thought you said
No.
that's what it was. You told me that earlier.
No.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Oh, you did.
No.
Okay, so you're lying now. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Doc, any other thoughts on Pillman and Z-Man here?
Say what you will, but the crowd cheered when they won.
Yeah. They don't like them. I remember as a kid, the Z-Man being, one of the main guys.
I mean,
And
he
then
had
and then you grew up.
Yeah.
a lot of the guys in the Facebook group were like, man, we liked Z-Man back then. I'm like,
Yeah.
You also
know,
picked
Paul-
your nose and ate it. I mean, grow the fuck up.
Come on.
Okay, what the, do you always have to insult listeners?
I mean,
thought.
yeah.
Anyway,
We're
Harper's
6
friend
years
Chris.
into this shit. What do you think?
Harper's friend Chris Zaha. I'm sorry, Zauha.
Zoncha.
Harper's friend Chris Zoncha. He loved the Z-Man. He says it all the time. He's like, I thought Z-Man was badass, and when you're young, I guess so.
Badass.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm giving you a hard time, Zuka or Zaha. He's one of my favorites on there. Anyway, let's go to the Steiners. Boy, 30 seconds of a promo. Doc, I want your honest thoughts when we come out of this.
Dumb, hey dumber. I guess you're gonna do it again. Why don't all you people come down to Washington and come down to the dog pound and see the dog face and Wild Thing do our thing in the ring with Doom? You know, Doom. Everybody's saying that we're going in the ring and we're hurting everybody. Well, maybe that's good advice. Maybe you should take it. 1 week away, before you guys get suplexed, before you guys feel the pain like everybody else has.
Oh.
That was not one of their better promos. Doc, your thoughts?
No.
That was Tim Horner level.
Why didn't you just redo it?
Yeah, why didn't they just stop and redo it?
Yeah,
It-
it's not live TV.
It was 31 seconds. That's what got me. I was like, just recut it, right?
Yeah.
You're not in front of a crowd either, even if it was taped. It's like, just redo it. I don't get it, man. I'll give them a pass. They're usually not bad. So, any other thoughts, Doc, before I keep going?
No, that was not good.
It
No.
wasn't. And, you got a pay-per-view in a week. It's like, come on, can we do something a little more? We got Lex Luger and the Horsemen, again, their feud on the recap. This is one of the recaps that's missing. Corny and JR throw to it, but it's clipped from the copy we have, so thank God for that. And then after that, we are going to go to a promo with Lex Luger. Doc, I'm going to play this because, again, we don't have a ton to play from this week's show, so let's go to this
Look
right
how
now.
big Luger is here. He's huge.
You mean jacked or tall?
Yes.
Which one? Oh, I got you. All right. Well, here's the promo. Let's listen to Luger.
Flair and Luger, this is the golden opportunity in 7 days.
Man, Jim Ross, it is so hot in here right now under these lights, but it's going to be even hotter for Ric Flair just 1 week from the night, the hottest that it has ever been, because you've thrown obstacles in my way time after time, right in my path, and I stepped over, through and on every single one that you have. You have never deterred me. My objective, Jim Ross, and for everybody out there, has never been more crystal clear. Now, Ric Flair, despite everything you've done, every beating I've took, every kick, every punch, I'm still standing here, bigger and stronger and more fired up than I have ever been in my career. It's put up or shut up time for Lex Luger. You've been in a cage before. You've been in time match before. This is my first shot at you in a cage. And baby, I'm coming out the new world heavyweight champion.
Lex Luger is ready. It's 1 week from tonight. And now let's take a look at this week's A&W Cream Soda King of the Slams.
I got a question I want to ask y'all about Luger when we do the pay-per-view, but I'll hold off until then, related to him in this match. Doc, what are your thoughts on Luger right there? I thought he was pretty good.
He's fine. This is just more goofy booking. So Sting's not retiring and he's coming back at the pay-per-view, but Luger's getting the title shot.
Well, yeah, we got to promote RoboCop.
Yeah. RoboCop's back. I didn't know he fucking left.
I say that sarcastically when I say yeah, because we got to promote RoboCop.
I'm mesmerized by all that heritage in the ring.
Boy,
Yeah.
So Harper, any thoughts on Luger, or can we go to the next match?
It sounded good.
I thought he was good too. I mean,
Yeah.
look, he's doing what he can. He's doing what he needs to do in a short episode, mentioning his match, talking it up, and he says he's going to come out the new world champion. I mean, that's what he should say, and he's fired up. Every time I see Luger cut a promo without his shirt on, no man, I just think back to the days when Luger's just bone dry, and by the end of the 2 minutes, he's pouring liquid off of him like someone just dumped a 5-gallon bucket of water on him, which is on our YouTube channel if you ever want to listen to us talk about that. Anyway, we'll keep moving. We got the Southern Boys, Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong from the heart of the Southlands is how they're introduced, versus Kevin Sullivan and Cactus Jack. So I said last week that they made their debut actually like in the ring at one of the tapings, but it wasn't televised. So they have been here. This is their Saturday night debut though. And we see these two teaming up, and man, it's crazy. We covered Tracy's whole career at Smokey. Now he gets to live up his WCW career. Doc, before I go into what goes on in this match, I thought I'd get some thoughts from you if you got anything.
Nothing like some Confederate baby faces.
That's right. In Georgia, man. What do you expect?
I mean, what other kind of Confederate is there? Right, Mike?
Well, I mean, I'm just like, what do you want them to do, man? They're in Georgia. It's a Southern promotion. I don't give a damn what Jim Herd wants it to be. So they got stars and bars on.
But we couldn't call it Betty Lou. But, as soon as the Freebirds are done fighting with the rock and roll over who gets rock and roll, then they're going to go to the Southern Boys and fight over who gets the Confederate flag.
They have a war over who the real Southerners are.
If I'm not mistaken, they open like 3 or 4 pay-per-views in a row here coming up.
Yeah. They do transition into a feud shortly.
Yeah, I remember the feuding with the Freebirds. And then Michael P.S. Hayes kept saying how they're from Wisconsin and they're not really from the South. They smell like cheese.
It's Doc nailed it. They're gonna feud over the South, I guess. The stars and bars. I don't know how else to say it, man. 1990 WCW.
Now, Corny does say in the middle of this match, I've never seen an Armstrong that couldn't wrestle. So that was good.
Yeah.
I mean, they could all wrestle. Some were better than others, obviously, but.
So, Can you go to 12:15 and tell me if Zink and Pillman didn't just do the same move?
Okay, hold on. So I want to play this because Cactus hits Tracy with this, over the top rope clothesline, and Nick Patrick calls for a DQ. Look at it. Boy, that looks good. Yeah. It went over. Tracy takes a hell of a bump because he goes into the barricade. And then they were going to spill back in, but I think Nick Patrick called. I thought he called for the DQ. Maybe I took the wrong note. But anyway, after the match, Cactus and Sullivan continue to beat down Tracy and Steve Armstrong. And then what timestamp did you say? 12 what, Doc?
15.
Well, we're about to get there now, so let's go to it. All right. 12:05. This move right here? You want to know the only difference?
He's off the top rope.
Yep. Yeah. Armstrong does a missile drop kick off the top on the Cactus versus Pillman did it standing.
And it looked better.
Yeah. All 4 guys here, Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
All 4 guys are extremely talented. You're right. That was the over the top. All 4 guys extremely talented too. Look at Sullivan. Oh shit, that hurts. Every time he does that trio well, like damn. So what else were you gonna say, Doc, before I close out this thing?
Good match. I like all 4 guys. Let's keep this thing rolling.
Yeah.
So at the end of this, like I said, Tracy and they're getting beat down, him and Steve. So thank God for Norman who comes in.
What
Jesus
fuck?
Christ. Norman.
Imagine how bad things have broken down if you need Norman to save your ass.
Norman comes in and he saves Scott and Steve, and then Bigelow comes in and attacks Norman.
Yeah, get him. Bam, bam.
Here comes Captain Mike in the mix. No shade on him. Humperdinck's on the ring apron. Lots of stuff going down. It's a wild brawl. The baby faces do end up clearing the ring at the end of this thing. Even Abdullah's out there throwing punches at Sullivan. Abdullah as a babyface is I continue to be amazed at the stupidity of it. Jim Herd, we have heard enough. Doc, any thoughts before we keep going and we look at Missy plugging the main event?
Doing what?
She's plugging the NWA main event show.
That's the right
plugging.
Yeah, that's the right verb, bruh.
Y'all are filthy.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. She's a very attractive woman.
All right. So,
What?
Go ahead, Harper.
What's their entrance music? I'm just curious.
Who's
The
entrance
Southern
music?
Boys.
What was that?
Damn.
What was that David Allan Coe song where he made the race record?
Oh,
You asked
the
the wrong
race
one.
record.
Yeah, he had the N word in a few of his songs.
Oh,
Well,
I mean,
piss
that
on
narrows
him.
it down.
Wow, he had that many songs with that word in it?
He had a
think
few.
So, huh? Yeah.
Wow. I didn't take note, and I would not have known if I would have, written it down or heard it. Doc, you don't recall?
I can ask Siri. Hold on.
Okay. Harper, it's like right around the 8:30 mark of this show if you do go back and listen. If I play it here, I'm going to have to go back and clip
Yeah,
it out
you
on
can't do that.
YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, well, we keep going, and we've got another promo. We got the Horsemen, Flair, Wyndham, Ole Yarn, and Woman is out here, and Flair, and that ridiculous ponytail is back. Let's see what they got to say in their promo this week.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's all on the line. Ric Flair, Lex Luger, first time ever in a cage for the world title, and the Horsemen are indeed at full strength. Watch out, Sting and RoboCop.
Jim Ross, people, you're about to find out that the manhunt is over.
What she is saying to the wrestling world is, now we have the ace, the trump card, so that next Saturday night, not only am I going to beat Lex Luger in the cage, not only is he going to bleed from coast to coast, he is going to be the most embarrassed athlete alive, because when you get beat in the cage, it's all over. Tell him, Rock.
Come on in here. Just when everybody thought it couldn't get any better, take a look. This is going to be the edition, the brand new edition. Now we are at full strength. And if anybody has any doubt about what the Horsemen can do, take a look at the man that's going to take care of RoboCop.
RoboCop, I'm 6'9", 320 pounds. I am the real man of steel in the NWA, and you better learn to like it.
What an addition. It's full strength. I don't want to be around the 6'9". Can you believe it? Flair takes Luger, the Horseman takes Sting, and the bucket of bolts goes to Sid Vicious. Tell him about it, Barry.
We have amassed the true powers of professional wrestling right here. And with the big man on our side, we can't lose. Luger, Sting, it's the end. You may as well give up, because from now on, we dominate professional wrestling. Jim Ross, in my own articulate way, I'm going to spell it out for the entire world. If you think we're playing stack the deck in Washington, D.C., the most violent city in the country, where murder runs rampant, we're bringing the violence to Washington, my friend. If you think R2-D2 and Sting on one leg and Luger can buck these odds, you are out of your noodle. Tell me, say one thing to Ted Turner and to everybody out there. I don't care if you're 5 years old or 50 years old. This guy is 6'10". He weighs 350 pounds. He's going to eliminate RoboCop and Sting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to break your leg again. Think about that, Sting. When you walk that aisle, we're going to break your leg again.
The following.
Harper, can I ask you a question about Flair right here? Tell me if I'm right. Does he look like a cheap used car salesman with that stupid ponytail?
Oh yeah, he does.
For you don't even know this, but in Eastbound and Down, the show Will Ferrell plays
Yeah.
a car dealership owner, and it's based off of Ric Flair, dude.
It looks just like this.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
No idea, but that's interesting.
You should live a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe stop drinking so much Henny and broaden your horizons.
I tell you what I do feel about this. And I have a feeling you're going to agree with me, Doc. Ric Flair is a Horseman, yes. Arn is a Horseman, yes. Barry as a member of the Horsemen, yes. I don't like Sid Vicious as a member of the Horsemen.
No one did.
No one did, but here's the thing. Why wouldn't that be the end of the show?
Right.
Like, oh shit, they got another dude. Holy crap.
So you're saying you don't like the way it was formatted?
It was
No.
terrible. Terrible. And then they just kind of walk him out. He wanders out and he's in a tuxedo. Why? By the way, Harper, when we do Capital Combat, it's a pay-per-view, so we're going to need you to tux up, all right?
Oh God.
It's a big event, and we wear tuxes for it, okay?
You go
Okay.
cover the event, Doc.
Yeah, you can't show up dressed like Ole trying to make it to the church mixer.
Okay,
He does
let's
dress like shit, huh?
yes. Somebody's uncle there for the beer and the ribs at the barbecue.
You know, Flair's wearing a suit and he's, dressed like he's.
Why did Barry lift his glasses for like half a second there for no reason?
I don't know. What were you about to say, Harper? You cut Harper off, man.
He just looks. He's going to Home Depot to buy some nails.
Yeah. And he's wearing the
Doesn't
same
really
thing
have a
every
project
week.
he's working on. Just figured he needed some nails.
Okay, promo-wise, what did you have from this, Doc?
Bro, Arn, we are bringing the violence.
Did you catch, though, when he said R2-D2?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
And I bet you, if anybody had been paying attention, that would not have gone over well. Look, Arn, we're trying to get this movie over. But I
Bruh,
bet nobody said a word.
I bet you it flew, if Hurd even heard it, it flew over his head. 'Cause he
100%.
wouldn't equate it to RoboCop. He'd be like, oh, that kid's thing, R2-D2, whatever.
And Flair was good here. He's ramping up. He was like, we're going to break your leg. I don't care who you are. Come get some. We'll beat up 5-year-olds. That's heel work.
R2-D2. Oh, man. He called Robo.
Imagine, like, Corny's always mad at Omega or some, the Young Bucks for the birthday party. Imagine a little kid runs in the ring and Rick just chest chops an 8-year-old and their heart stops beating. I mean, that'd be
Jesus.
great.
Why?
No, it wouldn't. That's terrible.
I mean, not the heart stop, but just, lifting the kid out of the ring,
Hard pass on that. The views and thoughts of Doc Turner do not stand for BTT Corporate.
Hey, we're
Anyway.
just having fun here, right?
I agree.
Nobody listens to this show anyway, right?
Yeah, right. All right. So, any other thoughts on the promo, Doc?
It's one of those things where I wonder what I wish we had a truth serum and we could hear what was going on internally in Ole's head as he's talking instead of what came out of his mouth.
Yeah. Probably this big tall asshole.
I bet he called him the F word. The British cigarette.
Oh.
Okay.
You
All right,
got
so-
that.
Ole.
Yeah.
God, we can't talk about anything around you. You're too woke, dude.
I'm not woke. Don't worry about
need to-
that.
You need to settle down.
Oh, whatever. Sure. We keep moving. I actually, you're the woke one that gets offended by everything outside of this show. That's the irony of it all. You fucking snowflake. Okay. Eddie Gilbert is going to take on Samu here, and Pee Wee Anderson, he hurts his knee during the match, and Samu ends up, I'm laughing at him as he sells his knee. Samu ends up falling over him, and Gilbert pinned Samu as he fell over Pee Wee. Here it comes. It's so stupid looking.
Oh,
1, 2, 3. When I watched this, I could not stop laughing because Samu goes to pick Eddie up, and Pee Wee is a part of the finish. He sells his knee and he's crawling on the ground, and Samu falls over Pee Wee and Eddie pins him. Doc, your thoughts on this elaborate finish?
This was goofy.
why is he wearing those fucking pants?
Yeah, I was gonna say something about those pants, but I'm gonna let Harper. What kind of pants do those look like?
It looks like, remember at WCW they had that like job guy, like Goldberg used to always beat him.
Jerry Flynn?
Yeah,
No.
he wore pants like that, didn't he?
Dude, I thought those were like those stupid windbreaker pants from back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, the what do they call them? Parachute pants.
Yeah, or track pants or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that's what that was when I
Look at
first
his
saw it.
dirty ass feet up in the air.
Ugh.
Or barefooted in center stage. That's gross.
Yeah, that is fucking gross. Walk
You
around
think this-
barefoot. No, do you know how disgusting a fucking floor is?
Or the wrestling mat.
Yeah, right. The floor is the most disgusting surface there is. It's worse than a fucking toilet seat.
That's true. Harper's
It
right about
is.
that.
I mean, just think the average floor, like at your, the Kroger's down the street or your
Ugh.
fucking Walmart, because everything you step in gets tracked in there, and everyone else too. So the floor is disgusting.
I feel like this is the lost episode edition of Tammy's Tips.
It's
Nah,
just saying, like, if you walk around an arena barefoot, that's what I think about the Von Erich to walk around barefoot. Imagine how disgusting.
Yeah,
It's
but I bet
sport-
if you do
sport
that long
purpose.
enough, you got snagglefoot so bad that it's
Bruh.
Ugh.
it's just a layer of callus around your foot.
No, you just
Oh.
so back in like I think it was 85? I don't know if it was 85. It was when Gino was there, so I don't remember the exact year. If it was in 85, he wrestled a match against Kevin Von Erich, and you know Kevin was generally the barefoot one.
Yeah.
I say that because the fake Von Erich Lance went barefoot sometimes too. Anyway, dude, Gino and Kevin are wrestling, and the bottom of Kevin's feet are black. I mean, they look like you know how Harper, if you barbecue and you got all that soot in the bottom of the barbecue pit.
Right.
It looked like Kevin stuck his feet in that after it cooled down. I mean, it looked like just soot.
Harper,
And
name all the places that you go barefooted in times.
The shower.
Okay,
The shower, like around the house.
around the house, you don't put socks on.
No.
Okay. Do you wear your
Yeah.
shoes around the house?
No.
So you put your shoes at like the entrance of your house, right?
I mean, they're in the bedroom. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, like if I gotta go outside for something, I put on the what do you call it? The flops or whatever.
Okay.
You want me to finish what I was telling you?
Well, and then there's the swimming pool and the beach, and that's it.
Right. That's it.
And I wear beach shoes because fuck the ocean, bruh.
Are you done?
Are you done?
I was going to tell you, Gino has Kevin down on the mat. Or Kevin's got Gino down on the mat. And he's got him in like a leg scissors around his, waist area. Gino bites Kevin's big toe.
No.
And I kept thinking to myself,
That's why he died.
No freaking way. And I was like, when Lance and I were covering it on Patreon, we both damn near puked. We were like,
That's
he
so gross.
bit down on his foot. And I'm just thinking, dude, because Kevin, he's probably walking around in the back, pissing at the urinal, stepping in, You know,
Yeah.
bro. You know how
That's
male
what I'm
urinal.
saying, bro. How
A
disgusting
urinal.
that place must have been.
And it's the sportatorium, which is already a freaking
Right.
dump. And he's walking around the pissing and stepping where the urine is, and then he's walking down the aisle where Lord knows what is on that aisle, and then he's in the mat. Dude, the bottom of his feet were black.
Ugh.
And Gino
Okay, so here's the
bites
thing.
his toe in the middle of the match.
Okay, Menace. Back in your
No,
day
I'm not
when you were
doing it.
hungry,
And there's not a dollar amount that you could pay me.
You were hoping that you could get a look from EC Dub back in the mid to late 90s so that you could get up there to the bingo hall and get your game on. What if it was a clean man's foot?
No.
I ain't biting Harper's foot, your foot, my own foot.
Come
If it
on.
was soaking
It's a white
in
guy's foot.
in a bathtub.
You
No,
wouldn't suck on a man's big toe just to get to where you want to go in life?
bro. Oh, here's the first thing. Some of these dudes out there love sucking toes, bro. I ain't no toe sucker. There's nothing for me. If I ain't sucking a toe of the person I'm married to, I sure ain't sucking a toe of any other dude in this world.
I
Except
never
for
got the whole foot thing.
Wait, I can already hear the listeners out there. Yeah, but you some bitches talk about eating ass all the time, but y'all ain't sucking a toe.
that shit's in the same zip code as the poon.
Yeah. She ain't dragging her ass across the floor at fucking Winn-Dixie.
Harper's got a point. That foot's dirtier than that asshole. If you're dealing with the right lady.
It's just one of those. Go ahead, Doc.
If your girl knows how to wipe her ass, you gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It ain't just that. I mean, most dudes ain't doing that unless, it's fresh out the shower.
But
'Cause
every broad, they wear the dumbest shoes. They wear a bunch of sandals. All that bacteria flying up and get on their feet, and they always have to pumice off the dead skin. Most bitches' feet are just hooves.
Remember what Paulie Walnut said about using? He's like, you got to make sure your tennis shoes are tied, because if you're dragging your shoes through the piss at the urinal, and then you go to tie your shoes, you're basically tying your shoes and you got piss all over your laces and it's all in your hands. He ain't wrong. He's not wrong at all. But the point being, Gino he just put that toe in his mouth and went down on it. I was like, oh, gross. And once again, Kevin's foot was black.
That's disgusting.
That is, we have gone down some pretty dark roads in the history of this show, but I don't know that we've ever talked about anything that's that gross.
And Harper's talked about some nasty stuff on Patreon.
Some real foul ass shit. But that is, when you think about, dude, just being in I went to the sportatorium one time as a kid, and you just instantly broke out in sweat walking in there. It was summer, and I mean, there wasn't a lick. I mean, no air moving. They had those big swamp fans. They didn't do anything. It was nasty in there. It was gross in there. I think I'd said this on the air. I have a great aunt that was born right at the turn of the century in the 1900s. She went to the sportatorium for wrestling like in the 30s or 40s or some shit, and got lockjaw because it was found out that they were washing the cups and reusing the cups in the concession stands.
Oh, God.
That was 40 years before Kevin's running through there, and they ain't cleaned the floors.
Dude. You can see it too, man. I mean, like, the story's been told a million times about it being this primitive building, and it just really was a dump. And the way they shot it, though.
It was a tin shack.
It was a tin shack. Go ahead, Harper. What you going to say?
Don't talk bad about it. It was wrestling mecca, but let's be real.
I saw someone share, like, it was something on some Facebook. I'll follow the the world class on the Sportium tournament Facebook page, and they shared pictures of the locker room. I'm like, God, that looks like it's from World War II.
Harper, you got a little touch of deep state Harper going on.
Not much, Harper. Just a little.
Yeah,
they had the fans, but up high they had those windows that they would open. You know, the ones that had like the arm on them, where you can kind of like halfway open
when
them.
It's 100 degrees outside, that don't help a damn thing.
I know. That's what I was about to say. But you could kind of see, like, there's times when you can see them open, like when they're shooting from the floor, and you can see up high, where you can see them open. But dude, there's no way. You know, I've talked to a number of people who worked there during the summertime. They were just like, it was just sweltering, man. It's hotter in there than it was outside because of the heat.
So you got normal wrestler foot, then you got Sportatorium wrestler foot. And then you got like Von Erich. Like, they may get so whacked out on drugs that they forget to bathe for like a few days.
Oh,
wow. Come on.
What?
But Gino chomped down on the foot, and let's keep going. All of this because Doc said, look at his foot, how dirty it is, when Samu went back and got pinned. All right. Go ahead, Harper. What are you about to say before I keep going?
I'm just thinking, it's fucking gross.
It's so gross.
All I ever think of when I think of Kevin or any barefoot wrestler out there is, they're not walking. He's walking to the urinal before he goes out.
You don't think he has flip flops at the?
I don't, bruh. I just don't.
He probably just said, "Fuck it."
I just, even if he did have flip flops, the piss is splashing. You're walking through the piss. It's just a dirty place, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, keeping it moving. The Rock and Roll Express, they do.
No, we need to go back. I want to hear rock and roll.
Why?
I thought Morton was good.
Okay, I wanted to play something from the Freebirds, but here we'll go to Morton.
Don't judge Morton by 2020 standards. Judge it by 1990, and this is a good promo. We said he's going to say something very similar like 2 years later in Smoky Mountain, and we're like, he's got the rap. He's got that rap like a preacher, so this is the same.
All right, here it is.
Battle it will be, and let's look at the history of their feud.
The best rock and roll around. What happened, the brother and I, we come out there, we don't not only beat you once, but we beat you twice. What do you want to do? You want to jump us from behind and leave us laying. Let me tell you something, guys. The fight has just begun.
You sure got that right, Robert. You're the ones that pushed the point, brother. Let me tell you something. We've been down many, many highways, and every road we took led us right to the top. You see, because there's one reason why. It's because we believe in two things, and that's the man upstairs and in ourselves. But you say it says in the Bible, so I know it's true. It's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So Michael Hayes and Jimmy James, you come on, brother. You're not going to get us from behind anymore because we're going to be watching every step you make. The best thing I know that you can do is to watch what the Rock and Roll Express is going to do to you. We don't care what it takes, brother. We've been in many wars before. Other than that, we have been World Tag Team Champions 4 different occasions. We know what it's like. We know what it's like to be on top. We're not out here copying you, brother. We are the Rock and Roll Express. And, brother, we're going to prove to you that we are the best. How you doing?
Now, I need you to go right back to the beginning of that promo real quick. I need to look at something.
With the eye for eye, and that's from a Charlie Daniels song, Simple Man.
That's from the Bible or some shit.
No, it's from a Charlie Daniels song.
I know. Hey, right here. Look at Gibson's hands. Are they cleaner or dirtier than Kevin Von Erich's feet? Take a look.
Let's see.
They're cleaner. Come on,
look at
man.
that finger. Something's wrong with that hand. Where do you think it's been?
I'm not commenting on that. Oh, boy.
Hey, Gibson, come here. Let me smell your finger.
It
smells like weed and badussi.
All I know is I know they're not in Smoky yet, but this is Smoky Mountain Wrestling Rock and Roll cutting that promo.
I like it. I thought it was
4-time world champion, brother.
Hey, he started hitting the Bible on him and the man upstairs. All he needed was you nice people.
That was it.
And a collection plate to pass around.
That was it. All right, let's go to the Freebirds here because Hayes is gonna start preaching too. Here it is.
You want me to guess what I think you're talking about here?
Go ahead.
Is it the term release time?
I don't have that written down. I got something else.
But that's an inside joke between us.
Yeah, nobody would get it.
But not like most people are thinking, you dirty-minded bastards.
Oh, released. No, we can't tell you on air what we're talking about. We would get in a lot of trouble. Right, so let's see what Garvin and Hayes have to say in response to the R&R.
Sleep it all last night, BS. I didn't sleep at all, baby, because I've been thinking about how good it's gonna feel when we take these leather straps and we lay them across the backs of those imitating rock and roll express. Not like when James Brown said, "Oh, I feel good," and you know he does just get released. Yeah. But talking about release, sometimes we have to release frustration. And parents out there, I know you understand frustration when your children will not cooperate. When your children will not listen, no matter how many times you tell them not to, they still do. And no matter how much it hurts you, deep down inside, you come to a point that you've got to let loose and get that point across. Yeah. Well, we found a way to get the point across. Capital Combat 90, Return of RoboCop, goodbye, rock and roll.
No, my point, Doc, what I had was, that was a true statement when he said, parents, you know how it is when your kids don't listen. Boy, do you. That's what I had written down. But then I caught the release time statement, and boy, you ain't kidding. It's too inside baseball, though, man.
Yeah, that's inside baseball. That's a good promo because it's like, I don't like that rock and roll. I mean, I don't like those Freebirds, but he's got a point there.
Yeah, my kid goes crazy sometimes, and
And you couldn't cut that promo today, though.
No,
they cancel him today. Harper, any thoughts on the Freebirds?
I got Luttrell's attention the other day. Big time.
What'd you do?
You waved the pistol around, shot off a couple rounds.
Well, only after my 14th beer. Come here, boy.
I would not joke like that. But go ahead.
That's Harper making jokes. I just, I don't want to cut him off. We were out at the soccer fields, and his little sister had just like balled out, like was doing awesome. But Mike, this is your most favorite day of the year. Youth Sports Picture Day.
Wow. Oh. Yeah.
It's the worst day on the calendar.
Worst day. Stupid.
I mean, it is on par with the day that you got to come back after Christmas. You've been off for Christmas. So we're standing there in line, and we're ready to go. And Luttrell took his sister's bottle of Gatorade away from her and opened it and drank it. Her post-game drink.
Uh-oh.
And so we're in line to get pictures, and she starts crying.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, it's okay. We'll get you another one. We'll get you. And she's inconsolable, and it's time for her to go.
Thoughts and prayers, dog.
I looked at him, and I don't know what look I was conveying, but he took like a step back just with the look. And then I said, "You're lucky, because what I want to do is drop your pants and spank your bare ass out here."
Can't do that in 2021, man.
Man, I'd have just had to go get in my car and drive straight to the jail and say, "I'm checking in."
For what?
You can't be whooping your kid in public, bro.
Yeah.
You can't.
Oh,
you
can't do it private.
Right. So if you can't do it in private, you sure as hell can't do it out of the soccer field.
I ever tell you back in '99, a friend of mine's, what's now his kid's mother. They were in a grocery store, and kid was acting up, so she wore his ass out in the store, in the middle of Winn-Dixie in New Orleans East, Harper. Beat him silly. This woman starts staring at her, like, what are you doing? And then she chimes in, you shouldn't do that to that child. Why are you doing that to that child? She looked at that woman and said, you want some of this too? That's how it used to be. And this is in like 1999. So it was even worse in the 80s and beyond. But yeah, man, you can't do that. Boy, if you do that nowadays, they call 911 on you. You'd be in jail.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Anyway, oh, that's nice, Doc. Thanks for shooting him that shot. Well, speaking of shooting a shot, we got Dutch Mantell, who we ain't seen Dutch in a while on this promotion. At least
Where's
I don't
Bobby
think
Jaggers?
so. Yeah, it's been a while, a few years. Maybe 86-ish, 87?
Yeah,
Anyway.
The Kansas Jayhawks.
That's right. That's what I thought, him and Bobby. Dutch is going to win. He hits basically a short arm clothesline here. And
he caught it, too. It looked good.
Paul Drake. It did look good. Anyway, Dutch Mantell, former guest on the show. Any thoughts on how this all went down, Doc?
Was he a guest on our show, or were you a guest on his show?
Both.
Oh, really? I don't remember that. That's back when we used to have guests, when we gave a shit.
We still have guests.
I
mean, the champ. I'm sorry.
But notice
Luke
you didn't
Hawx.
fight me when we gave a shit.
What?
You didn't fight me on the we don't give a shit part.
Well, I mean, we give a shit. But, at the end of the day, like you always say, you're the star, right?
One of two.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So, any other thoughts on Dutch and Paul Drake, Doc?
Good to see Dutch back, man.
Yeah, agree. Harper, anything for you?
I used to have his card. I don't know what the fuck I did with it.
Did you say
Dutch's card?
Did you say card or car?
His WCW card when he used
Really?
to have them. Yeah.
I thought maybe you bought like a late model Chrysler off of him at an X-rated or something.
Yeah, I bought like an 85 Fifth Avenue.
Oh, boy. Hey, Harper,
What did it smell like in Dutch's 85 Fifth Avenue?
Oh, probably tobacco, spit, and probably farts. You probably like the old man farts, like the ones your dad used to do.
Oh,
Your mom would start screaming.
dude. I used to go by my dad's house sometimes.
Oh,
Weekends. That freaking dude used to fart, and it smelled like something died.
yeah. My dad used to fart and go, "Great balls of fire."
Dude, what the hell, Harper? Talk about Bruno. Talk about JYD, man. What the hell, bro? What's the Bruno talk?
Let's talk about JYD in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, seriously.
He's
Harper.
gonna waddle into the promotion.
I know Doc probably hadn't seen this. Harper, have you ever seen any of the first few UFCs, like 1, 2, 3?
I saw two.
Yeah, the ones when they got there's no weight class. It's just like fucking Street Fighter 2.
Back when Oleg Taktarov was in that thing.
Yeah.
I recently watched the first one and the second one again because they're on ESPN Plus.
Oh, really?
Dude,
I got that.
Yeah. Man, thank God they only had a few rules back then. One of them was no eye gouging. They would tell you no rules, but there actually was no eye gouging, and there was maybe one or two others. Dude, somebody would have got killed if they wouldn't have put some rules around
I think
those
it
matches.
was the eye gouging, balls, shit, and I think if you wore shoes, you couldn't kick.
It was eye gouging and groin shots. I think you're right. There was one more, but I can't remember. But the very first UFC match ever, there's this Asian guy, and he's wrestling. I forget the white guy's name, and the white guy's like proficient in kickboxing. I forget what the other guy was. If he was I don't know what his expertise was. They used to just throw anybody in there, right?
Yeah,
dude. The fight ends in like 30 seconds. The Asian guy who's kind of big and bulky, like fat, not like muscular, but he's short and bulky. He's He's not overflowing fat, sloppy, but he's a big dude. He goes to the ground, and the kickboxer kicks him square in the face. Knocked his teeth out. He's got to have a mouth guard. It's the very first fight on UFC 1. And I thought about it the other day. I was like, thank God they put rules around this stuff. Because you can't, nowadays, if you watch UFC, I do watch it a lot, you can't kick a guy when he's down. You can't, strike him when he's on the ground. Like, you can't be standing there.
Shit.
No. Hold on.
Somebody.
Hold on. Somebody can't be down and you just strike them in the head. You can't also strike them in the back of the head. So I was thinking, man, thank God they put rules around it. Because I'm telling you, man, somebody would have died, bro. Somebody would have died easily. But it's brutal. When you watch some of them old ones, if you think it's a brutal sport now, go back and watch the old ones.
It had an air of danger to it, for sure.
Yeah, they didn't have... I mean, I know people go, well, those are just small gloves. Dude, it makes a big difference, the gloves they have now versus bare knuckle. Because hitting somebody bare knuckle is a lot different than even that little bit of padding they have on them UFC gloves. It makes a difference. It's vicious stuff, though, man. If anybody out there, you got ESPN Plus, go back and watch some of that. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but holy crap. You'll be like, God damn. Dude, Harper, Doc, Jim Brown is one of the commentators on the first couple.
That can't be good.
That's, oh, God. How bad is that?
It's not good. And, of course, Hoist Gracie wins and never throws a punch, just takes the guys to the ground and smothers them like a damn...
Yeah. Octopus is on them.
Basically, it's... Yeah. Anyway, all right, so we keep moving. They show a clip of Barry Windham and the Horsemen attacking Sting and Luger. That's missing, though. JR mentions we're going to take a look at that from Worldwide, but again, it's missing. And then we go to Sting, who's going to close out the promo, and Doc is going to do the Jaworski at the end of this. Here it is.
You know what, Rossi? The Horsemen can't do anything worse than they've done to me already, and I'm still standing here. I'm still yelling and screaming and feeling probably more reckless than I ever had. And I got people coming up to me and saying, Sid Vicious and Barry Windham, a new addition to the Four Horsemen. There's 5 of them now. What about those odds, Sting? You and RoboCop against 5? But you see, there's something that everybody forgot. Everybody up there, everybody that's going to be in the stands in Washington, D.C., with maybe a painted face, little ones, medium-sized, and large ones. There's going to be a whole pack of people after you measly 5. Think about that for odds. The Stinger will be ready 1 week from tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the main event.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that one was for you, Everett Starr, longtime BTT Hall of Fame Patreon member, the Sting scream. God, Doc. Look at him. He's winding up right there. Look at a still shot.
Play it again.
Oh, hold on. Here it is.
The Stinger will be ready 1 week from
He sounds like a typical asshole at spring break at the fucking wet t-shirt contest sponsored by Bud Light. It's typical douchebag with his college buddies.
I think you nailed it, Harper. Doc, any comments on what we saw right there?
So what are we rating this episode?
Well, let's definitely do that. So before we do so, I want to remind you, like Doc said, there are no ads on this show, so become a patron. That way you can not only help support the show, but you get tons of extra content in return. Over 300 plus Patreon episodes, including the video versions available at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. That's tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Remember, Capital Combat is coming up within 2 weeks. There's also a Clash a few weeks after that. Lots of stuff going to be available on our Patreon page. So again, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Doc, let's rate it. What are you going to give it?
How long was this episode?
Man,
28 minutes.
29:01.
I'm going to be honest, because I always like to be honest with the people. Almost too short. I like that. I like that 40, 42, 48 minutes. That's a good, you get to see a good buffet of talent, and you can really see some matches and some promos. That's my thought.
And you still gave it an A+ because it was 29 minutes.
A++.
See? Told you.
No, it's not an A++, but let me say this. It was better than what we have seen by a considerable margin. I'm going to give it an A. I am.
Fair enough. I'm going to give it an A as well. Harper, what do you want to give it?
An A.
Not an A+?
I give it an A+. It wasn't even a fucking half an hour.
That's right. All right. So we need to give out our Rolexes.
I mean,
go ahead.
I've chewed on toes longer than that.
Wow. Our toe discussion may have been longer than this 29-minute.
Hey, man, you got Sid Vicious coming in and Dutch and the Southern Boys.
Let's give out the Rolex now. Before we do so, I want to remind you also, hey, man, it is October. The holidays are literally around the corner, just a few weeks away, 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe. You know, before you know it, Thanksgiving will be here, and then we'll play our annual blessing of the turkey or meal, BTT style. Anyway, don't forget to support us by using our Amazon Associates link. That's the BTT Amazon Associates link at tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. A great way to support the show, especially if you're already shopping on Amazon. So take that link, put it in the browser of your woman, your side piece, whatever you have next to you. We don't care what it is, what species it is. tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Make sure they use that every time they shop on Amazon, and make sure you use it as well. And your support is appreciated when you use that link.
Does anybody actually do that?
Yeah. It's just, it is a very small kickback that they give to you. But yeah, I mean, people use it.
But beggars can't be choosers, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, when you're a small show, you take every penny you can get. I don't understand why some of the bigger pods don't do it, like Cornette or some of these other ones. They, like JR used to do it.
Yeah.
And I know they were making a grip, like when he did it. So because of all the, downloads he got.
Well, can I give everybody a little shopping advice?
Well, please.
Here's a PSA.
Oh, Sting style. Go ahead.
Here's a PSA from DOC.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm serious. We are less than 3 months from Christmas. You better do your shopping early, because these supply chains are about to snap in two.
Yeah, for real, huh?
About to? Let's keep going. So
I'm just saying, man, that they had a thing that said today. I read an article that said that just. You better plan ahead for this shit if you want little Timmy to get his fucking stocking full of bullshit.
It's fake news.
That's nice. Doc, let's go.
You want to be
Rolex.
the heel of all times. Come up empty-handed on Christmas morning.
Especially for your wife or broad or whatever you have. Boy, you will be heel numero uno. Doc, who you giving your Rolex to?
I went with Arn, man. I like that promo he cut. I thought Corny was good at the very open, and Flair was good too. But it's good to have Arn cutting promos that set down the expectation of violence.
I'm giving it to Arn too, because the R2D2 thing.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Who you going with, Harper?
Yes, Arn.
Right.
Fucking R2D2. Come on.
Doc, hang tight. We're going to wrap up before you normally have to get out of here, and because we got to talk to Harper about something with the pay-per-view. So, but before we get out of here, I want to remind everyone, I get questions about this sometimes via the Facebook page and messages there. I get an email. Yes, Harper is still doing the video shout-outs, life and relationship advice. You just got to email him to chrisharper16wildcat@gmail.com. Along with PayPal and him, $20 to CC30388, CC@yahoo.com. Again, if you want props, especially food props, the supply chains in New Orleans are really broken. So there are some issues there if you want him to get props and you're sending more money. But I wanted to remind everyone, email Harper, check the show description for all the details regarding his email and PayPal address. Harper, anything you want to add to what I just mentioned about your video shout-outs, life advice, relationship advice, not just for listeners, but if listeners want to send a video to someone?
No.
All right. Doc, anything
you
else?
You could have Harper propose to your girl for you.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll do that for you.
Doc, anything else before we get out of here? I got to plug 2 more things.
Once we get off, I gotta go plug something too, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
I gotta take a shit. Like,
all
for
right.
real.
Wouldn't that be
okay.
unplugging?
Disposing. Yeah. All right. Check out Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling
hold on.
Podcast.
I just want to thank Harper for not doing that on the air. That was nice. I appreciate
It'd
that.
have been, I don't know. I mean, it'd been kind of cool to hear a bloosh in the
No, sir.
toilet bowl rather than the splash. Anyway, shout out to Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn, the northern version of BTT. Slightly classier, a little bit more professional, but still fun nonetheless. They support us. Please support them. Also, check out the Bottom Line Cast with Mike Prue and JV. They do our ECW show on our Patreon feed, and they do a show on the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So check them out as well. And on that note, that's all we got. The show is a little shorter than normal because, hey, 29 minutes to review. It doesn't take as much time to get through it. Doc, if you don't have anything, I don't have anything, Harper doesn't have anything, he's got to take a dump, and we got to talk to him about the pay-per-view. Hit the tagline so we can get out of here, Harper. Oh, no. He stepped away. Doc, you hit the tagline. Nobody's there. That's great.